What's up, guys? My name is Alexei Stomin, and today we are in Bahamas playing main event. Let's go. What's up, guys? Today we're playing main event. It's gonna be day 1A, 5k buy-in, 15 mil guarantee. It's insane tournament, but the levels are only 40 minutes. It's gonna be a little bit turbo. Let's see how it goes. So our first hand of the tournament, Jack 9 off. I raised from the cutoff, big blind calls. It seems like a fun player. 8-8 free. I think we can bet this flop 100%. So I bet small, he called, turn came at 10, which now brought us the open-ender. Great card. And I decided to bet huge, 150% of the pot. I'm not sure about this bet sizing. I just wanted to apply max pressure to his ace-x hands and I don't know, even some flush draws. But we probably need to bet smaller. I bet 150, he called, and on the river 5 he let out one half of the pot and I just let it go. That's how we start. Alexandra Botez sat down on my right. She's a famous chess player. I'm pretty sure you guys know her. And also now she's trying herself in poker and she's going successful way. She's already representing GG Poker and she's very interesting person to talk to. Hi Alexandra, if you're watching this video, it was a pleasure to play with you. Alright, next hand we are on the big blind with the ace-jack off. Fun player raised from middle position, another fun player calls. Alexandra call on a small blind and I decided to squeeze. I think it's perfectly fine. Our hand doesn't really want to play multi-way and we want to take the pot right now. I squeezed and two opponents called. Two fun players from middle position. SB folded. We came to the flop, which is ace-3-3. It looks quite nice. The one thing I still suppose that either of two players could have ace-queen pre-flop and even maybe ace-king. So we need to be cautious here. I decided to bet really small, around 20%. Both of them called. Turn brought the 8 of clubs. There is now a flush draw on the board and I decided to bet again. I chose like 40% sizing. I think we could go a little bit smaller, but it's okay. Only second guy called, which is quite good news because the first guy could have very strong holdings, the second guy rarely doesn't have it, rarely has it, right? So the river is a 4 of spades. I thought that my hand is already too thin to value, but I checked and the opponent checked back really quickly, ace queen suited, and he won this sizable pot. And my worries was kind of right. These guys could have really strong hands on the pre-flop. The next hand I have pocket tens. I raised from middle position and the button older guy free bet me. I don't think it's very exciting situation, but of course pocket tens we are calling. Actually the same board I come in, ace-3-3. I check, he bet really small, I call. Turn is a 4, we check, and river 7. I don't think we can value bet here, so I checked and he bet 5k. It's not very excited situation to bluff catch because I would say this spot is under bluffed for sure, and especially in the old guy shoes. And I just don't think we need to call here. We have some ace-x. We have some sets and straights and whatever, two pair, maybe ace-7, ace-4, which I'm gonna play exactly the same way, so quite an easy fold. the one thing is not pleasurable is to lose every hand we play, but that's how it goes sometimes. That's funny hand. The guy on my right raised under the gun +1, and I decided to 3-bet him with the ace-jack off. He seemed to be opening wide, and also on the blinds were fun players, so he is definitely wider than normal here. So I put a 3-bet, and surprisingly, a small blind, the fun player, big blind, the fun player, they both called. And the initial raiser is also called. The flop came king 4-3 with the flush draw. I don't have a space at all, and the situation doesn't look great for me. But when they three check to me, I decided that I can still bet into this flop, because that's a great flop for my range. So I decided to bet small, and just small blind folded, and other two guys called. Not the result I wanted to accomplish on this flop. At least I wanted to stay heads up, but we're gonna be going freeway to the turn, which is 8 of clubs. They both check to me, and here you probably gonna think that we definitely need to give up. But in game, I thought that it's maybe not the worst situation to continue betting, because my opponents rarely has a king. The cold caller, what kings could he have? Okay, maybe king queen. These are 3 combinations. Sometimes king jack, very rarely so. Let's say 1 more combinations, because 1 combination we block. And that's pretty it. The initial raiser also rarely has a king, because some of king queens he could 4-bet pre-flop. Ace king he definitely 4-bet, and some of his stronger kings he could even check raise the flop in this multi-way scenario. So, and the way he called, he didn't seem like a king. So I thought like their ranges are really heavy in pocket pairs and some suited connectors and suited aces, but kings are rare in this scenario. And the thing that I don't have a spade is actually really good in this situation, because they have more flush draws and less kings. So I decided to fire again, because it's gonna look strong, and I don't have a chance to win a spot if I don't bet. So I bet half pot again, and only the big blind called, which is not bad, because he could still potentially have a nuts flush draw, which I beat. But it was nice until the river came a queen of spades, the worst card in the deck. He checked and I checked back this time, and he had this ace-10 of spade, which we were dominating all the time until the river. Nice answer. So I lost almost half of my stack. I have pocket ace on the small blind, and it's around 45 bigs. Cutoff raised, Alexandra on the button called, and I'm on the small blind with pocket eights. Decided to just call, because it's weird stack sizes. You don't really want to 3-bet call this hand. To jam, it also seems a little bit too much, and yeah, fold, it's obviously not a question. So I decided to just call, and thinking about that big blind is quite aggressive player. He could create something, and my hand gonna be playing really well against his aggression. So I decided to call, and the big blind predictively decided to squeeze. Everyone's fold to me, and yeah, that's a really nice situation just to show off with my hand, because we dominating his range. He has a lot of like ace-x hands, which I'm ahead, and I just don't really mind to take down the pot right now. So I moved all in. The guy tanked for a couple of minutes. He started to ask me if I have pocket sevens, because he was really thinking to call. In the end, he released his hand, he folded, and he told me that he had king 8. So he was really thinking to call with the king 8, putting me on pocket sevens. I would say I would like him to call. It's actually a pretty fun table. We having a great time. Here is Daniel Negreanu coming along, reminding you guys to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, and yeah, leave me a comment. How do you like the video, the format, and enjoy the show. So fun player raised from early position, and I call with the ace-10 suit on the button. I don't think we can play this hand any other way. I think the call is the best option. The flop came 10-8-4 with the flush draw. He checked to me, I bet third, he call. I think we could go even bigger on the flop. The turn is a 6 of spades, so there are 2 flush draws on board. He checked, I now bet 80%. I think we still can go bigger sometimes, but it's fine. He called, and the river is a 6 of clubs. He checked, and I thought it's really interesting situation. Do we have a value bet here? I think it's close. I think against some of the players we definitely don't have a value bet, but the way this guy played this hand, I don't think that he ever has a flush in this line, so I thought we can definitely bet our hand, and we almost always have a best hand. So I bet 8k. It's like 66%. I think we need to go smaller. I think that 40-50% would be optimal bet size, because when I bet 8.5 he folded, and it's really hard to pay this amount of chips, but I like that I found the bet. Next time. And yeah, after the short break, we have ace-10 suited again, but now on the cutoff, and there is a limper under the gun. Alexandra on my right doing isolate raise, and I have a decision right now. Do I want to call or do I want to free bet? I think both options are fine, but in game I choose to make a call, to play the spot in position, and to not waste my hand in case someone gonna put a 4-bet. I didn't really want to fold it pre-flop, so I decided to call. And the button also came along, and the limper under the gun call too. The flop came interesting, 2-3-4 with the 2 clubs and 1 spade. Now I have a gut shot and backdoor spades. Everyone checked to Alexandra, and she bet pretty big. She bet like half pot into the field. And we are now facing a decision. Do we want to continue or no? Of course, when we slow played a little bit our strong hand pre-flop, kind of more incentive to call this flop. Also, we have pretty good overcards. There is a backdoor spade possibility, and the gut shot. And also I noticed that the button are not very interested in this spot, which is also great because we're gonna be in position. So I decided to call the flop, and everyone else folded. The turn came 5 of clubs. I would say it's interesting card. In some way we have a straight right now, but in the other hand there is a flush on board, and there are straights that we are losing to. Okay, Alexandra is thinking and betting big. She's betting big. She's betting 14k into the 17k when I have only 20k behind. And this is a very unusual situation. It's like, what is she playing this way? What holdings could it be? I thought that she could be potentially bluffing with the king, queen with the club, starting the bet big on the flop, and now it's a perfect card for her to continue betting because now she can apply pressure on my pocket pairs. But I'm not sure if she wanna play this king queen on the flop that way, especially multi-way. If she playing any weaker hand than mine this way, maybe pocket kings with the club. She doesn't know what to do now. The pot is big, I don't have much, and she decided to play it this way, thinking then in the worst case she has a king of clubs. Maybe, but I'm also not sure about it. She could definitely have ace-x of clubs playing this way. It's also not very good for me. So in general, it's really a tough decision, and maybe it's fault on the flop and maybe it's fault on the turn. But in game, I thought that she never has a flush in this sizing. She could potentially have some bluffs with the king of clubs. She could be overplaying some hands, which I beat. And yeah, the main idea, it's like never flush, and sometimes it's chirp, and maybe there are some bluffs. So that's why I decided to put it in. And surprisingly, she had this interesting king 6 of hearts, which is straight, and I don't have any outs other than chop outs. And let's see if they come. The river is an ace, and that's how I was busted from the main event in Bahamas. So I took some time off and I had a rest, and I decided to play a few satellites in the same evening. There were satellites for main event for the next day, and I thought it would be fun to play. So I didn't film it, but at some point I had 99.6k, and this was a kind of satellites that you need to build 100k stack to get the ticket. You started with the 10k, and at the moment you have 100k, you got the ticket. And there was a break, and I had 99.6k, and luckily they did a chip raise. I don't know if you guys familiar with the chip raise. It's basically removing the smaller amount of chips of the game and bringing the bigger chips into the game, doing a draw between players, and who win in the draw get the bigger chip, and the smaller chips are being removed. So first of all, we started to do the chip raise of hundreds, and I lost it because I had only 100 and some of the guys had more possibility than me. But then luckily they made another chip raise of 500 chips, and now I have 2 of 3 possibility to win. Let's see if I can do that. It feels like there is a good chance, and yes, I won. I won the SAT on the chip race, which has never happened to me, and I didn't even think it's possible. Wow! Yeah, exactly ticket. No free money, guys. No free money. That's great. So yeah, it's a nice feeling to win at least something, to get a little bit lucky because the tournament went the way that all the hands were really tough, and feel like I couldn't potentially win, especially when the field was great and the tournament is insane. Thank you for the watching, and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you still didn't, and I'll see you soon. Bye.